Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Blade Runner role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Electric Dreams. It was written by Tomas Härenstam and Joe LeFavi, and we have used some of the artwork of Martin Grip and Gustaf Ekelund. This scenario comes from the Blade Runner starter set, and it's available from Free League Publishing. Our game runner is John Dos Passos, and this is episode 2. Our recap will be given by Holly Buto as her character, FN9 2.39 Fenna. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Holly?
Thank you, Tom. LAPD case number 45982, report 0. Reporting agent FN9-2.39. LAPD officers were gathered for a briefing on May 19, 2037. The subjects of the briefing were two Nexus 9 agents, LH3-07.93, codename Leia, and SN-901.48, codename Sandor. Both were involved in a brawl at the Snake Pit the previous evening, resulting in Sandor's death and Leia's disappearance. Officers have been charged with investigating the incident and determining Leia's whereabouts. The crime scene and Sandor's autopsy indicated that he was shot from behind at point-blank range with a PKD 5223, notably the issued weapon of the LAPD Blade Runners. Witnesses at the scene indicated a brawl that occurred when members of a human supremacist group started heckling a replicant dancer, codenamed Iris. Leia and Sandor moved to join the fight, but Sandor was shot and killed before entering the fray. Leia was recorded leaving the premises in a metro cab alone immediately afterward. Inspector Novak and myself attempted to press a witness that was revealed to be withholding information regarding Leia's whereabouts. However, he ran from the scene. He is currently in LAPD custody awaiting questioning. His Nexus 8 status is noted in this report, and he will be handed over for retirement once this investigation concludes. A review of Leia's records show that she has failed 2 baseline tests and had to be recalibrated in the last 2 months. It is unclear whether she murdered Sandor, but signs point to mental instability, as patrons at the Snake Pit have also noted her increased attendance and alcohol consumption there as of late. The investigation will continue with Inspector Novak and JL2-9-7.80 meeting with Wallace Corporation while Backer and myself talk with a vendor known as Bullet Bob. Report will be updated as the investigation unfolds.
Thank you. So we return to our investigators, our Blade Runners. Again, at the still toxic, smoggy streets of LA. However, it is now approaching late afternoon, almost early evening. And I think first we're going to cut to we had the group split up, so some people are going to see Wallace. So let's remind everybody who's going to go see Wallace. All right, so William Novak, Detective William Novak, and Percival both land their spinners at the prestigious Wallace Corp Tower, Wallace Corp HQ rather, which, as I said, is one of the pretty much the only building that is taller than the LAPD tower. So it's the one time you actually have to fly up instead of down when you leave at the LAPD headquarters. So you all arrive. It is very fabulously, decorated, very, prestigious, businessy, but with, Wallace's distinct breed of esoteric weirdness and eccentricness. So he has very weird art, old replicant models, in these, columns sealed up like art pieces, things like that. You are, led inside and brought into an expansive conference room, much like the ones, those of you familiar from the first movie. They have those weird triangle sort of windows that let some of the light in at an angle, and a long, beautiful antique wooden table made from fine wood that was, grown outside the city on one of few lumber farms that is mostly used for exotic goods now. It is a few moments, but Quell comes out to greet you all. She's very, very icy, kind of to the point, very blunt, straightforward, not necessarily impolite, but no sort of bedside manner, all business, let's cut to the chase.
Sure.
And she says, thank you. Thank you for coming. She sits down. She lights a cigarette. She says, all right. Well, I'm Quell, VP of Public Relations. I'm sure you've been informed of me. I've already spoken with your chief. Which two of the team am I speaking to?
My name is William Novak.
Ah, yes, the veteran.
Yes. And I'm Unit JL2-7.80. You can call me Percival.
Yes. One of our analyst models.
Yes.
Quite a mind on you. All right.
Thanks.
So, to start, what have you found?
Well, we haven't really gotten far enough. Unfortunately, our number one suspect in the murder is your Leia model.
I'm sorry, what? Why do you think that?
Well, for one, we know that she was having difficulty with her reassigned, that she was, how do I say it? So she was turned in a number of times for recalibration.
Yeah, she was just recently in for recalibration, and when she left, she was a spitting image of her at her, peak self.
Well, we had reports from the people at the nightclub that over the past few weeks she's been acting rather erratic. Not erotic.
No, that's Iris.
She's been drinking rather heavily, and surveillance shows that she and Agent Sandor stepped out together onto the dance floor. A large caliber Blade Runner gun was fired directly through Sandover's chest and into the wall, and then she fled the scene and got into a taxi cab and drove away.
So you're saying that Sandor was killed by 44 caseless?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
and
that certainly is.
She certainly didn't stay to assist him in being shot. She fled the scene. We have surveillance of her outside getting into a cab and leaving.
Interesting. Okay.
So there might still be a glitch in your old computer robots.
Well, I mean, with tens of millions of the Nexus 9s being produced, minor malfunctions are expected in rare cases.
Minor malfunctions.
I think it's highly unlikely that her failed baseline tests had anything to do with her disappearance. I really think you should look into this human supremacist group, the one that was at the scene. They're known for inciting hatred and violence against replicants.
Well, we're definitely looking into them. However, there's no evidence that they had anything to do with her. She left of her own accord.
Well, what you're saying is, now correct me if I'm wrong, this is your timeline here.
Mm-hmm.
So Leia and Sandor were at the club, the snake pit.
Correct.
There was a brawl of some sort, as I understand.
The brawl was caused by some of the rowdy
the human supremacists, yes,
taunting the erotic exotic dancer on the stage.
Yes, I've already heard part of this from the uniform officer already. So
right.
the brawl happened. They walked onto the dance floor
together.
Somebody shot Sandor in the back with a .44 Magnum caseless bullet, and then for some reason,
in the wall.
Then there's the question mark area where you're not sure what happened, and then Leia gets in a cab.
It's a very small question mark. It's a matter of minutes. I promise you.
Correct.
Well, it was the last thing that I wanted to jump to. I was very hesitant to suspect her. It's just the way that our investigation is headed. We're still going to find her, of course. We're still going to take all information we can. The most damning piece of evidence is her getting into that cab alone.
Well, the secondary piece of evidence is that she made no attempt to see to Sandover's health. He was shot, fell to the ground, and she never bothered to see if he was still alive or anything like that. She just
if you got a hole this size in your center, there's not much coming back from that.
Well, so perhaps I'm just expecting a more human reaction from someone.
Perhaps you are.
It's that hole and nothing else. He took no part in the brawl. There were no other bruises or marks of any kind on the corpse.
Plus, the trajectory of the bullet, having lodged itself in the wall, would have been from somebody standing right next to him, right directly behind him, which is what witnesses said that she was.
I suppose perhaps she could have had another another bout of stress that triggered some sort of response where she fled. Like I said, it's not crazy that minor things would happen, but she seemed spick and span at her last recalibration. I mean, she was one of our early Nexus 9 models, designed by the Lilith. With memories designed from the Lilith Memory Lab, one of our subcontractors. If you really want to know more about her memory design, you could talk to someone there, but it's probably a waste of time. I mean, the case is hot. You need to be investigating real leads here. Like I said, I definitely think you should look into those human supremacist groups. I mean, they're right there on the scene, and there are few people that walked away from it other than the victims themselves.
There were a number of things that seemed reminiscent of perhaps human interactions in the past, but are the Nexus 9s able to fall in love?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
The question is did Replicant 1 fall in love with Replicant 2 and then in a fit of jealousy kill Replicant 1? Is that a possible?
I'm not sure. Like I said, what do you constitute as love? I mean, I love Wallace. I love replicants. I'm sure that
we have emotions, and we have strong emotions.
Yeah, I'm sure that Percival perhaps loves his job, loves the thrill of finding something with that powerful brain of his.
Well, forgive my ignorance. Percival's been an outstanding member of this team, but my question is are they programmed to feel emotions based on human emotions?
Yes. Our product are as nearly perfect as humans are.
Well, then they should be subject to the same sort of flaws. I got a strange impression when I was studying this that perhaps that's what it is. Perhaps the stress of Leia about something she perceived as a relationship with Sandover. It seemed very much like a jealous sort of action.
Now, I'm no expert on love, as you would put it. However, from what I understand, as of the last time we checked, the last time we spoke, the last time of her calibration, I'm not aware of any complicated feelings or anything further than their professional partnership as partners. I don't think there were any feelings there. At least there was no indications thereof at the last recalibration. Perhaps they manifested suddenly, but like I said, I'm no expert on what's possible with love or not. I mean, have you been to her apartment?
We have not.
No. You contacted us rather quickly as we're still in the middle of the investigation.
Well, you've had nearly a full workday, but I understand that you are early in the steps. I definitely would recommend if you want to look into her personal life, that would be the first place that I would check.
We'll continue the investigation and keep you informed.
I mean, is that all you have? Do you have anything else so far? Any other persons of interest? Any other witness accounts?
Not that we're willing to discuss at the moment. They're not complete yet.
Not that you're willing to discuss.
It's important that we keep an open mind while we're doing this. We don't want to make judgments before we know what we're talking about. So
I'm not the press. You don't. Do I need to call Deputy Chief Holden and get an update from him? I'm sure that he has many other things to do than tell me what his detectives could tell me.
Yes. Well, I think that you'll find that it's necessary for me to act independently without your direction. I need to pursue this truthfully and not coerced in any way.
I'm not trying to offer you direction. I'm trying to offer you assistance.
I know that you are nervous about your Nexus 9s taking any kind of reputation that they shouldn't deserve, considering the past of the Nexus line. Just let us do our jobs, and we'll keep you informed. If there is a problem with your Nexus 9s, it's going to come out. If there's not a problem with them, that'll also come out. You'll have to trust the LAPD.
Well, all right.
So,
I'll relay that to. Go ahead.
Like, Percival tries to do some damage control of just like, well, I assure you, the real hot topic of our investigation is that she is a suspect at all. That is where our efforts have gone so far. It is a surprise that it's leading to her, but it's just too soon. I believe the phrase was "get your asses up here" that the detective heard on his phone. So we wanted to come here as quickly as we could, and we put a halt on things temporarily.
A halt on things?
We have to sit
We're
here.
obviously not working on it right now. We're here with you, wasting our time.
And the other half of your team is...
Well, they're working.
They're looking at alternatives.
So the investigation is currently progressing, we are here assisting each other, giving each other valuable information.
And what are you doing with the information? Why do we have to report to you at the moment? We're not done yet.
Why would you have to report to me, the Vice President of Public Relations of Wallace Corporation, the makers of your victim, your apparently lead suspect, and every witness except for the club owner?
Well,
and two of your team. I wonder why we're interested in the investigation.
Then why don't you just come with us and stand over our shoulder and do our jobs for us?
Why would I need to do that when you could just give me a
report? Because you're doing that. You're calling us in every 15 minutes. You want us to be here telling you everything. Let us go do our fucking jobs.
Once during your investigation is now every 15 minutes. All right. Well, I'll let Chief Holden know my thoughts. Thank you for your updates.
All right. Well, so I understand that you intend to help us, but I may have just missed a key part of information, and I'm sorry if I did, but you said that you wanted to assist us as well. What is the information that you are offering? What can we get out of you to help?
Have you been listening? I've been giving you. Well, I gave you a lot. I gave you information already. I
mean, well, go to her apartment. That's a good idea.
You asked about if there's any record of her and Sandor having any complications other than being partners. There isn't. You asked me about the recalibration. I told you about it. You asked me about her personal life and things like that. I said you should go see her apartment if you want to ask about her personal life. There's also the Lilith Memory Lab, but at that point I said you might be wasting your time. You should go talk to the human supremacists who were there in the brawl, who were there in the question mark.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you for telling us what we were doing already. I got a question for you. Why don't your Nexus 9s have some sort of tracking device installed so that we could go right to where she is?
And so somebody could easily hack in and get their location? I don't think so. Well, we have trust that our Nexus 9s are going to do as they're programmed. That is what they are. They are the perfect replicants.
Yeah, we've heard that all before. Las Vegas. Come on.
Those were Nexus 8s.
Oh, those were Nexus 8s. Ours are perfect now. Yes, everybody said that. And Nexus 8s were supposed to be perfect.
Nexus 8s were Tyrell's niece's attempt at picking up the pieces.
Whatever. Let us go do our jobs. We'll call you when we have something to tell you.
All right. And with that, yeah. I assume you leave.
Well, yeah, like as soon as we get out the door. Well, that went much better than I expected. Good job, detective.
The only thing that I can say about Nexus 9s, if you're an example of one, Percival, is that you're a little easier to work with.
Well, thank you. That's exactly what I'm here for.
The day that corporations started ruling the world is the day the Earth fell apart. All right, so we'll head back.
All right. So meanwhile, Benna and our Olsen backer. So I believe you two wanted to talk to Styles.
Bullet Bob.
Oh, you wanted to go to Bill Bob's first. That's correct.
Yes.
So, yeah. So it's easy enough to head over there. It is over near Animoid Row and more of like the sort of business district of LA. And let me see. Hold on. It is in the Hawker's Circle, most specifically. Bullet Bob Surplus Supplies, some of you know, it's been catering to Blade Runners for decades. You can buy, rent, order an evolving selection of specialized gear, weapons, ammunition, drones, and surveillance gear, all from the ill-tempered owner, Bob Gorski. So yeah, so you easily get over there to Hawker's Circle, park your spinner. It looks like it's open. It's not super busy. There's a front door that seems to be open.
Okay. And before we go on, since it's been a minute, Animoid Row is ringing a bell. Is that where is something in relation to Styles? Was he based around here?
Based around here anyway.
Yes. Who? Yes. I believe somebody said that they saw Styles around Animoid Row is what you got.
Okay. So enough that whenever we put in the Blade Runner equivalent to Google Maps, it rings a bell, and I may try to question about Styles' presence. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So heading into Bullet Bob's.
So you enter, you see the the sort of crotchety, infamous Bullet Bob owner, like Bob Gorski. He's a balding man with bald up on his head, but longer gray hair on his sides. Very kind of scruffy. Kind of turns around for Brooke. He's like, all right, what can I get you?
Hopefully, some information.
Okay.
We want to double check if you've had a previous customer that has come in and is wanted in an active murder investigation.
Oh dear. Who?
That would be a replicant. LH3-7.93 Leia, and pulls up an image for a profile of her face.
Oh, yeah. She was here recently. Just this morning, actually. She's buying a 44 cases of ammo for her PKD blaster. She didn't say what she needed for. I didn't ask. She seemed really nervous, though.
Understandable. Did she come in before this morning at any point in time?
I mean, I've seen her around once or twice buying stuff for, just run-of-the-mill stuff for the job. But I mean, what's going on here? Who's asking? I mean, there's a lot of questions about my clients here.
Bacher, LAPD.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're a runner too?
Yeah.
Okay.
We worry that
to other runners.
We worry that this one may be acting a bit off the books.
Yeah, and she's missing.
Okay.
And her partner is dead.
Oh, shit.
There you go. Shit. Do you happen to have any information? Did she just pay with raw cash?
Yeah. I mean, she just, yeah.
Hmm.
Pay with Chinyan chips.
You know anyone that friendly with her? Someone she may have gone to stay with?
I do not know my clients on that level.
Okay, well, how about this? Do you have any clients that are particularly tall, bald, giving general description of Styles' face?
No.
Hmm.
Wait. Black or white or
White.
White.
Oh, okay. No, never mind then. There's this one guy that used to come in, but he hasn't come in a while. But no, he's not white. So
Do we feel like he's being truthful with us?
give me an insight roll. Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy, it's a 1 and a 5. You said it's a 6 is a success, right?
Yeah, 6 or higher. Do you want to push it?
Push the roll. Yeah.
You'd
I'll
have to
push
keep
it.
the 1, but you could re-roll the
Okay.
other one.
I will re-roll it. 4. Not any better.
All right, and just mark you mark 1 stress, so you're -1 on your resolve.
But you're a replicant. You can do it again.
Oh, you could, if you want to really risk it, you could push it again and re-roll just what isn't a 1. So just the 4. But if you get another 1, it'll be more bad. But if you get a 6 or higher,
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna
All
do
right.
it. We're gonna do it. Let's do it. Come on, baby.
the rare
12,
third
yes!
push. Hey, that's 2 successes. All right, yeah, you're pretty sure he's telling the truth. I mean, he
Okay.
doesn't really want to give a lot of information about his clients. That was also truthful,
Right.
but he's told you what he knows.
Okay.
So he's being cooperative.
I kind of give a side-eyed look to Fenna. I can't think of anything else to ask, but we know that she's still active.
Mm. Yeah, I can't either. Oh, thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Come on back if you need supplies.
Do people is there anywhere in this neighborhood that people squat?
Yeah.
Any buildings notorious for it around here?
Any dilapidated old building that isn't used generally gets squatted in by someone or something.
Okay. Where's the nearest one?
They're like all around us.
Very
Do you
well.
have security cam footage for just outside? Wanting to see if she walked here, maybe got out of a vehicle.
I mean, I do, but just the front door and the exit. I'm sure your Esper wall cameras probably have it. Probably caught it though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Is it Bob?
Yeah, Bob Gorski.
All right. Shake
Mr.
his
Gorski,
hand.
Thank you for your time.
Have a good one.
You know, Backer, we do have the plates for the cab that Leia stepped into. Might be able to pull up the record of where she got dropped off.
Well, that sounds like a hell of a lot better idea than mine. So let's go ahead and chase down that lead.
Where would that be? At the police station, I guess? Or could we run it here?
To do what?
The cab. So we have the
yeah.
cab's plates. Is that something we could run to find out where her destination?
You'd have to
was?
go to the Metrocab dispatch.
Okay.
Should we do a video call?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
that'd be
Yeah.
great. Share all that info.
So
Is there a way? If we had the moment of her getting in the cab on the Esper, couldn't we have another angle on the cab and see where it goes along the street?
It disappears before. Go ahead.
Surely the cab records will just. I mean, I don't know. I guess the question is, would cab records record where they pick her up, where they drop her off? I don't know if that's how that works. Okay.
That's really convenient. I was expecting to just interrogate the driver.
That's basically what you're gonna have. You might have to do that,
Okay.
but you can probably get that info from them.
And sharing the information with Percy, because I'm counting on him to be more of the surveillance and getting into the cameras and whatnot. I know that technology is far beyond me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you guys get a time frame? What time this morning? So it would save me a lot of
I
work.
poke my head back in the door. What time was she here?
Very early, like as soon as I opened.
Time you open.
Sunrise?
All right.
Like
What time is it? Oh,
7?
I can work with
Something,
that.
I think. I don't
sometime
know.
before
Not
7
much
a.m.
around here. I'm assuming pretty late.
Like I don't know. Wait, actually, I don't even. I have like a thing that tells me when it's anyway.
Got it.
Does
Yeah.
the sun ever come up in LA anymore with all the smog?
That's the question. We should
I
check
don't know if I'm
her
going to jump on that right
apartments.
away, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have hotter leads than looking for another cab plate.
Her apartment in general. She's probably, I would guess she's not there, but it might give us clues as to where she might be.
Yeah.
Also, do we want to check Sandor's apartment? If there was something that he said to her at the bar that triggered her stabbing him in the back.
I'm still not convinced that they weren't in some weird kind of relationship. And there might be evidence of that at Sandover's.
Maybe a search of his apartment would turn that up.
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems
so.
kind of like your human intuition that I'm not picking up, but I'm not ruling it out.
I don't know. It's a weird situation. Don't you agree?
We're not, Inspector, we're not designed to be attracted to anything. Some of us are designed to be attractive to others, but we are not designed to be attracted to anything at all.
I understand that you would say that. But then you're not designed to murder people either.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, yeah, you're talking more of like emotional dependence that they had with each other, and that's possible.
I just want to cover all the bases.
Of course.
I get the strong feeling. Now you guys are Nexus Nines. I get the strong feeling from Wallace that they're willing, very much willing, to cover up any problems that might arise in this.
I agree.
They're not interested in the truth. They're interested in their money and their reputation. I hope that you guys are programmed in such a way that that is not a cloud inside your mind that forces you to do in their best interests rather than in
Not that I'm
just
aware
finding
of.
the truth.
Well, if it were
I'm
the
a-
case, neither one of us would be able to tell you that.
That
Yeah,
is also
I'm a Blade Runner first and a replicant second, as far as I know.
Well, I'll admit that the Nexus Nines are getting as close to humans as they could possibly get, which I'm never sure that was a good idea to begin with. You should all look like green metallic robots, as far as I'm
Toasters
concerned,
with
so that we
legs?
all know the difference between us and you.
John, I'm going to message you something, actually.
Okay.
With the answer to this.
Messaging you, should I kill him?
Yeah. Well, and also, was that our third shift? Do we need to worry about taking a fourth shift now?
Yes, which I will explain in just a moment. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to answer this real quick.
I'm married to the job, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you could go and do a fourth shift and interrogate Styles back at the station if you so wanted, or check out her apartment. But I guess the three of us are getting burnt out at this point.
I'm obsessed with the idea of finding out that robots fall in love now, which adds a whole new dynamic to crime.
Yeah.
Very insulting to call you all robots since you're not.
Wow.
So,
So rude. No, all right. So, yes. So, shifts.
Some of us need to
So
rest.
yes, it has been 3 shifts. It is now night of day 1 of the investigation. So after every 3 shifts, everybody except for William Novak has to take a bit of downtime, rest, relaxation, R&R, whatever the character would do to to get some downtime. There's also some basically a table, some interesting things that can happen during your downtimes. And if you do not take a downtime and keep investigating, you will lose 1 stress. And this will continue basically for every day you keep going like that.
I think I'm going to go to the apartment, to Leia's apartment.
Oh. Okay, so
I would really like to go to the apartment too, if I could convince you to interrogate instead and wait for me.
Can I alleviate your stress with a cigarette?
I haven't quite picked up the addiction yet.
Are Percival and I? At what point do we report for like evaluation? I suppose.
You would go in for a baseline test if something very dramatic happens to your character, like something that would mitigate, like basically seeing, psyche valve kind of thing, or if you have a critical stress, something happen and you survive, that's another definitely go get a baseline test. If you do anything very out of character or suspicious, you might get sent in. The chief can basically send you into one if he determines it.
Okay.
So how many times did Leia go in and
Twice
fail?
and failed.
Twice.
Because the third failure is a big deal, so they're trying to avoid
Yes.
that.
But doesn't that also tell you that there were at least 3 times that she was under stress? What was causing that stress that she had to go in and get reevaluated?
Her and Sandor, their whole job was hunting Nexus 8s, wasn't it?
Yeah. We also need to look into the supremacist group, but we can do that
Snake
tomorrow.
Pit did say she had been there more and more often, though, so.
And you said Styles sounded awful friendly with her.
He did. Multiple witnesses said that they'd been seen together on occasion.
Leia's Nexus 9.
Yes.
So the other question is, could Nexus 8s have figured out a way to reprogram Nexus 9s?
Listen, bud, you keep saying reprogramming this, that, and the other, like, you don't need to be a replicant to have someone pissing in your ear. It's a very human trait, as you so kindly put it, to be misguided or be shown a different way to go. I don't think that they're just going to jack in a USB and get her to act different. I think someone was changing her mind about why she needed to be a runner.
Well, whether you call it reprogramming or brainwashing, as we used to call it way back when,
That's a
it
better
amounts to
term.
the same thing.
So it's Styles, when we took him into custody, he made a very impassioned remark about replicants turning against replicants. And it's possible that these impassioned feelings, maybe he's got her thinking on his side now.
Well,
If
that's
they've
the
been
type
together-
of talk that someone in a resistance group would say.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We're Blade Runners. We have a job to do.
Yeah, Detective Novak, if you're going to keep working, I think that now is the best time to go on Styles. He's had time to sit. If you wait until morning, he's going to sleep and be rested. If you can keep him up all night with the questions, you might have an advantage on him.
All right, I'll take that as a valid thing to do. We'll do that instead then. Do you want to come with me for that, or do you want to? Tomorrow we'll go.
No, I'm no good at interrogating. I just want to be there for the investigation.
That is my specialty, if you'd like backup on that, Novak.
All right, if you're willing to take a little bit of stress to do it.
I can work through the night. It's not a problem.
Percy, do you want to go investigate her apartment?
In the morning, I would like to get some rest, if nothing's too pressing.
All right, well, I'm not worth a shit on my own, and apparently not with any partner, so I guess I'll get some rest too.
I don't know, Backer, do you have any contacts in, kind of the seedier areas of this town? Bob here gave us very vague answers on where people tend to squat. I'm not sure if there's better...
I'm going to choose to look past the insinuations that you may or may not have intended in that statement there. But that is a pretty good question for the game runner. As an outspoken member of the replicant rights movement, would there be any contacts that I feel like I could reach out to and inquire if maybe they've seen Styles or Leia around?
Yes, there is a section just for this. So you can, this would be kind of like hitting the street. You'd basically trying to pull on your connections to see if you can get any rumors. And basically how many successes you get will determine how many rumors you like how much you get. Anyone who has connections at C or higher can assist you here and give you an advantage, which would they would basically give you. In that case, I would let you give them the better of your 2 dice because you're assisting somebody else.
I've got an A in connections.
Wow.
Novak, can you help me out here? I've got a D in connections, so I have an exactly 1 out of 6 chance to make this on my own.
So we're talking about somebody with a little bit of underground knowledge, and my previous partner, Remy Krumpek, might be able to help us out. He's a Blade Runner. He's an old timer like me, but he's as shady as they come. Got to be careful around him, but I think that if there's something going on, he probably would know about it.
Well, I know that I was the one kind of pushing back on going to the apartment, but I've just been thinking about it a little bit. If she is still living there, like, we definitely want to jump on it. It might be something that we kind of want to rush and go do.
I doubt that she's
second guessing myself.
Well, I doubt that she's living there or dumb enough to show back up to her own apartment, especially since she showed up this morning to buy more ammo.
Well, do we know if like the beat cops went to her apartment yet or anything, or has nobody at all? Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like if she is dumb enough, she's going to get away with it because we're not going.
If time is of the essence, you might be right about Styles. We might not want to give him enough time to
why
rest
not split? Percival, Backer, the 2 of you, like Novak, you and I can press on Styles. Percival can go look at the apartment. Backer can reach out to contacts, see if they know anything.
Yeah, let's get the job done. We can rest tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't like striking out this hard on day 1, so let's go to the apartment and hope we get something.
Yeah.
All right. Go armed, obviously.
Oh, yeah. I got my blaster.
So Percival and Olsen are going to the apartment, and Fenna and I are going to go
Press
talk
on
to
Styles.
Styles.
Yep.
So just mark a stress now, John?
Yeah, go ahead and mark. If you're continuing, go ahead and mark 1 stress. So that's a -1 resolve because you've taken 1 stress damage. And then
I'm sorry, I'm not sure how resolve plays into this.
Okay,
like,
so
I have a maximum resolve. What does it mean?
Yeah, so that means let me pull it up. So when you go to your sheet, so your maximum resolve is that's your like maximum mental health. So for every level of stress you take, it minuses from that. And if you get to 0, you suffer critical stress effect. So go ahead and mark down like with little X's or tallies, like how much damage and how much stress you've taken.
Okay.
And that is either from being hit with attacks or from pushing rolls or suffering stress factors, which if they happen, but we'll mention them, which kind of work like panic or sanity.
But they don't negatively impact our dice rolls currently?
No, they do not. Like I said, they only affect your health pools.
Okay. Okay, so we play musical chairs with the various cruisers and whips and go to our various destinations.
If you'd like to borrow the spinner, Backer, by all means. I've seen what you drive.
I'm also going to choose to not be offended by that.
If you're going around to the squats, I guess the one that you're driving is probably better anyway.
So yeah, so who is going to try to hit the street? That was.
Well, no, I think Bakker and Percy are going to the apartment.
Okay, yes,
we changed our minds.
And then
we're
you two are going to
see
go.
Styles.
Okay, cool. So So like I said, just everyone that isn't Novak mark one stress, and then all right. So let's do the apartment first. You two are gonna fly over to actually. What's funny is that Percival, your apartment is not very far away from where she lives. Like you basically live in the same kind of apartment that she has.
Yeah, mass housing. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, basically, she has a small studio apartment over in Sector 5. It's not far from the LAPD HQ, kind of on purpose. If you've seen the Blade Runner 2049, this is very similar to Kay's apartment in Heat. So
a woman's yelling at Hungarian at you.
What? Yes,
a woman's yelling at Hungarian at you.
Yeah, as you walk in, you hear multiple different languages being yelled at people as you ascend the many floors. And when you get up to the 13th floor, that's where you find her apartment. And like I said, it's interesting because you basically, personally, you live in basically like a few buildings down, something almost exactly like this, because it's just sort of standard issue for the replicant Blade Runners until they, desire something else and, save up enough money. You make yourself up. Unfortunately, the elevator is out of order, so you do have to ascend the stairwell, which is very filthy and covered in graffiti. You actually do need to push past a couple residents. Some of them give you kind of angry stares, especially you, Percival. And when you do make it up to the 13th floor, you see that the words "skin job" have been spray painted on Leia's door.
All right. Well, how do you want to approach this, Becker? Should we knock first? Just try to walk in? What do you think?
I think let's just make ourselves at home.
Yeah, lead the way, please.
All right.
And as you go to approach the door, from the kind of crowd down the hall, a large, burly man who smells of BO and whiskey walks over, and he says, "Hey, you friends of the skin job?"
Who's asking?
Well, the neighborhood's asking. Who the hell are you?
I'm LAPD, motherfucker. Do you want to come over here?
I don't give a shit who you are.
All right,
friends
let's
with the
throw
skin
down.
job or not?
All right, I'm going to show you how good of friends I am with skin jobs.
Oh yeah,
let's
go, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to punch this motherfucker in the face.
All right, combat time. So, go ahead and roll me. Roll me 2 d10s because you've got combat veteran.
Okay.
We're gonna use d10s because I can't make you pick cards. So roll a d10. You're trying to get low. So tell me the lower of your 2 rolls.
2.
2. Okay, yeah, and he got a 6. So you're going first. So he's this big, slow, whiskey drunk fat guy. Go ahead and what do you want to do? He's like, oh yeah, fucking come on, square up.
All right, we're gonna do hand-to-hand combat. I'm going to break his nose repeatedly.
Oh, okay. Punch straight to the nose. All right, yeah, go ahead and roll it.
Okay, so that is just a D10. So just roll 1 D10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or well, it's you. So you roll that plus your strength.
Plus my strength, so that would be a D8 and a D12. Okay.
Yep. So roll those 2 and tell me how many successes you get. Like how many higher than 6?
I'm good for one
Double
thing.
digits counting 1. Okay.
That's a 6 and a 7.
All right. Yeah. So that is actually a critical hit because you got 2 successes during combat. And I believe a critical hit for melee is a D6. So go ahead and roll me a D6 as you break his nose.
Okay.
Nose.
That is 3.
All right. So yeah, you punch him good. I mean, you might you're pretty sure you just broke his nose if it wasn't broken already. There is blood pouring. He's like, "Oh, you fucking piece of shit pig!" And he is gonna charge at you now and try to get in a blow back at you here. So let's see. I don't think he's as good as you are though. Let's see. Oh. Maybe he'll get lucky though. So yep, he kind of charges at you like a bull, and he tries to punch you, but you avoid it. So instead, he just barrels you into the wall, next to the door, and you get thrown against the wall, and you take 3 physical damage.
Ow.
Assaulting a police officer.
Percival, would you like to get involved?
Well, so I feel like this is just kind of Backer's thing, so I want to be involved by making sure no one else is getting involved.
Sure, yeah. So there's some other people who are like, what's going on? And you're like, hold on, LAPD business. This is a professional investigation.
Yep.
So
nothing to see here, police business.
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, can you give
Place
me
your bets.
go ahead and give me let's see here. What would that be? Go ahead. I guess do a manipulation or manipulation or insight. Just to see how well you're keeping the crowd back.
Oh, so it's empathy is the one off of it.
Yeah, empathy and either insight or manipulation. You can use that, whichever's better.
All right, let's try it. They're both D6s. I rolled a 5 and a 5.
That is going to be a failure unless you want to push.
If it looks like somebody's gonna get involved, if I don't, I will push it.
It looks like Backer will have a harder time if there is more chaos. So if you do not stop them.
Okay.
More difficult for her. So.
Yeah, that's worth it for me.
Okay, so go ahead and reroll both dice.
6 and 2.
There you go. So you got a success. So
no punishment on pushing it. I don't take stress.
No, because
at all?
you didn't get any ones.
Okay, awesome.
You're good. So it looks like there's like some woman who's like, hold on, that's my cousin, and you're like, no, back up, man, back up.
Police business.
And he's like, and he barrel chest Baker, Backer into the wall. Now it is your turn again. What do you want to do, Olson?
Okay.
He's kind of wavering, but he's still going.
Sure. I'm just imagining I got tackled into the wall like that. I want to bring elbow down onto the back of his head.
Okay.
And knock him the hell out. If that doesn't work, then throw a knee into the face. Actually, no, I like a knee into the face some more. So push him back and then knee right in again. So that's another D12 and a D10.
Yeah.
That is a 7 and a 5, so just one success.
One success, awesome. So unless you want to push it, you can reroll just the 5 to try to make it better.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay.
But you take damage if you roll a 1.
That's an 8.
Hey, all right. So go ahead and roll a D6 again.
Okay.
Because you crit again, so... There you go. So yeah, you knee him into the face and further fuck up his entire nose and face. And he goes, "Oh, you piece of..." And just you hear him thud as his large body hits the floor of the hallway.
As I assume, I may have knocked some teeth out in this.
Oh yeah, there's like a teeth. There's like a teeth.
I'm gonna pull his head
like
back.
Pieces of teeth.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the teeth out from in front of him and put them into my pocket.
Okay.
Be like, all right, anybody else wants to know who's a friend with a fucking skin job? And then showing the pistol.
Yeah, and then there's some like, like there's some people like, like you just put they just put somebody on the ground, but then they're like, oh yeah, all right, and they kind of all turn around. They're like, they go back to their business. They're like, that shit's not worth it. I'm like, nah, fuck that. So looks like the crowd disperses.
Where were we, Percy?
Oh, yes, I think we were just about to step inside. So hopefully no more of that. And good job not killing that man.
Thank God we didn't make a scene or anything.
Might want to call, some medical attention. He's still on the floor on the way out. You don't want him to bleed out through the nose.
If I'll try to see to him. I'm pretty good at medical.
But
I didn't shoot him. I mean, I did my part. I mean,
you caved his face in pretty bad.
Then you get to the door itself. So there is an electronic keypad to get in. So it looks like you're going to have to either use tech to bypass the keypad or force the door open.
I could do the tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that before we force it at least.
Yeah, so you get down there with the, open up the panel with like some little tools.
Ooh, 4 and 1. That's pretty bad. Maybe we should just kick it down.
That is a failure, and if you push it, that's going to be a stress from the one from that origami 1.
That's okay, champ. I pat him on the shoulder, be like, my blood's
They were
pumping.
both D12s. It was pretty unlikely. Yeah, you know, I'm just too tired walking up all those stairs, man. Just, yeah.
Okay, that was a hell of a warm up. I think only cracked one rib.
You're gonna kick
Let's
it down?
force this door open. Yep.
Yeah.
Does this just strength?
So this is strength and force.
Okay, strength and force. Got it. 2 6s.
There you go. Yeah, you easily kick the door open and, kind of break part of the lock, but, it swings open. Looks like it hasn't been disturbed, in a day or two since everything happened last night. Looks like you can see that it's mostly a small and barren apartment, like very similar to the ones that you have, especially Percival's. And as you can look around, we have another one of our lovely crime scene photos. So let me stream that for you.
You're an animal, Becker. So, did you get hurt? I could try to see to you. What'd that guy do?
Let's wait until we're into a more comfortable environment.
So this is what you see in her apartment.
Nice and cozy. Reminds me of home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, let me know what you want to look at.
What's on the picture by the bedstand?
So that is a photo.
That's pretty strange.
Do you just look at it, or do you want to do anything else to examine the photo in the frame?
And so this isn't a digital frame. If it's an actual photo,
it's an actual printed photo in a frame. Yeah.
Yes. Can I take it out of the frame if anything's written on the back?
You can. And as you do take it out, there's actually a stamp with the name Doc Badger on the back of it.
Doc Badger. Percy, does that mean anything to you?
No, I'm not sure.
And listen, I don't mean to be insensitive, but I know that they give you memories.
They do, but they don't come with souvenirs.
They don't give you anything to recall those memories?
No, it's just like a dream that we can pull up whenever we want. I mean, just like how your memory works, just like how I remember yesterday.
I snap a photo of it and send it to Novak and Fenna.
Yeah, I'm also putting it in the Discord for people.
Yeah. And can we come back to...
yes.
There's the apartment photo.
Yeah. So if you want, I'll put it up for the...
okay.
For everyone to see here, our wonderful viewers, and pull that back up.
And Percy, you can get the next one because I called out the picture.
I mean, I was curious about the book, but just see what type of material she was reading that kind of occupies your mind,
How to Murder Your Digital Partner.
Yeah, that'd be a red flag.
All right, so what would you like to look at next?
Yeah, the book on the table. I want to know what she's reading. And I guess the coffee table too. Just, are they like entertaining, or?
Is that a butterfly in the background?
It is. There is on a small table next to the sofa, there is a butterfly jar. With several surreal yet beautiful butterflies in it. These are probably... If these were real, then it would be like Leia was sitting on something worth like a lot of chin yen. So these are almost certainly artificial, like replicant butterflies, basically, for lack of a.
And there's
better
like no way to
explaining
tell,
it.
right? With the anemoids, you just like can't tell.
It's you basically have to go to an expert. Like you'd have to go to an anemoid expert to identify that it was an anemoid. But it's like most of the animals you see, if it's not like in someone's private collection or at some crazy like high like entry fee zoo, like it's not real. Like they're like real animals are a thing of legend. But yeah, so there is a book that's open, yes. And it is actually a collection of poems by William Blake, and it's opened currently to the poem The Tiger.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright, in the forests of the night, what a mortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart begin to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what the grasp, or what dread gasp, dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and the watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see, or did he made the lamb to make thee? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what a mortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Yeah, that's a pretty peculiar thing to really hover on and reflect over. But I mean, it's not like she wasn't reading Mein Kampf. I don't know.
You also notice that there is a page ripped out of the book. Just one.
Oh, a page ripped out. That's what you said.
There's one page ripped out of the book, just one, and it's missing.
What page is it? You don't have to give us a specific number. Basically, I want to know what number of the page is missing, then look up the same book.
Yeah, go to the library or something.
This is the future, baby. Like, I just Google it.
Yeah, download the PDF on your phone.
So it seems that part of one of the poems has been ripped out.
Is it the good part? Because that was all completely lost on me. Is there really a tiger? I don't understand.
Was that to me or Percival?
Yes, more to Percival.
Well, yeah, Percival's kind of struggling over it. Just I mean, it's poetry, right? It's made to stir emotions. It's not something you really consume unless you're going through something, as far as I understand.
You share it with us over the...
Yeah, I'll snap some photos and just with the caption be like, any of you have a head for poetry?
Yeah.
Pages
Who knows
missing.
where you guys are at your interrogation right now, but...
Oh,
well,
wait.
It feels to me like it's basically saying that, God created the tiger, and the tiger is a deadly, dangerous animal.
Yeah, it is.
We created the replicants, and the replicants could potentially be deadly, dangerous animals. Animals, not animals, but you know what I mean. Same as that symbolism. Yeah, that's...
So maybe she didn't like having to kill other reps.
It's indicating a depth of thought that, like I said, we're Blade Runners. This is our job, but it's for other people to ask the questions of whether replicants should really be allowed to.
But she didn't get to choose the job. We chose to be here. I chose to be on the Rep Detect unit. Percy here, wherever Fenna is,
made for it.
They were told. They were made.
Yeah. Well, so Detective, how you've been talking so much about reprogramming, if there's a resistance movement, this might be one of the materials that they circulate, and that could be how she stumbled upon it. And it's not like she would have just found this type of writing on her own.
The thing is that I guess I was assuming up until now that external forces do the reprogramming, but the truth is people can reprogram themselves. We can change our minds. We can
much more reliably so than a replicant. It's easier for you guys to back out of things.
It would be easier if I could look at you and say that you were just mechanisms that we created to do work for us. But you're becoming something more than that. You're becoming something more than that now.
Yeah, they're becoming closer to human.
In a few generations, nobody will know the difference. Right?
Yeah, that's the point. So stop talking about them like they're fucking robots, man. We try so hard to make them human because we keep saying that that's what's perfect.
Look, but I'm part of the generation that's slowly dying off. I've got baggage.
Sure, but we made them smart enough to doubt. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm just I have my difficulties with this case. I was there right after Tyrell was murdered, and we staked out a building that we thought that the Nexus were going to hit, and they did, and they overwhelmed us, and they murdered everybody in the building. I escaped with a few others, but I haven't been able to ever get over that completely. So my reluctance in trusting the replicants, but the replicants are changing, and I'm still stuck in the past.
Well, Detective, all I can tell you is I like my job and I'm good at it. And whether that's my own decision or I was made for it doesn't really matter to me.
Well, you and Finna aren't like the things of my past, so I just
well, thank you. That means a lot.
Your hesitance is understanding, Novak. We don't hold it against you.
I'm even starting to think that maybe our Leia is part of something that's bigger than just some stupid crime, but it's hard for me also to think that she murdered another replicant in the same way of if she'd murdered a human being. But
the
maybe there's
question
not much
truly
difference.
is, if she murdered Sandor, why? Was he trying to... Did he threaten to report that she had these sympathies?
What if he threatened to bring her in for another baseline? She had 2 strikes.
Yeah. Well, or if she's getting involved with some kind of larger resistance group, then he might have been wanting to stop it, and then she didn't kill her partner or whatever. She killed a Blade Runner that was going after her new friends.
Right, I mean, Styles is the Nexus 8.
It could have also been, you said that her apartment door had, skin job written on it. Maybe she's under more physical danger than we originally thought. Maybe she didn't kill Sandover. She was next to him when he was killed, and her instinct was to get away from the people who were trying to murder the supremacists.
Backer, did you dig into why that person that you beat to a pulp had an interest in who was asking about her?
He wasn't asking about her. He was asking about Percy. Folks in these blocks, they got a thing against skin job.
They
got a thing against reps. They call them skin jobs. They don't want them here.
Did you know that we were reps at our first meeting? Because I'd be curious to know how they know Percy is. My point is why he wanted to know, according to my understanding, he wanted to know why you were sniffing around her apartment.
That's my understanding as well, is I think that they must know that she's missing or something. He said that the whole neighborhood was interested in what she was, who her friends are.
What's going on there? You might want to dig into that. Maybe not you, Backer, but you know.
I guess that was me jumping to conclusions.
It's all right. He was drunk and came at you. It seemed noble in the moment.
I really hate to tell Finna and Percival this, but you're too perfect. Humans are fucked up and flawed, and when we see you, we can kind of tell you're Nexus because you're.
Well, I've only been alive for a year. Give me some time to mess up.
It's instinctively we can sometimes tell, just because you guys are better maintained than we are. I wouldn't have guessed Styles was one, though. He's pretty fucked up. He was pretty fucked up when we first saw him.
Styles has been around
Maybe
a while.
That's it. Once they get fucked up, we can't tell the difference.
Percival made the point. He and I are both young, not hardened by the reality of the world yet as much.
I'm just happy to be here. I know that wears off, supposedly.
Fenna and I are now pulling into LAPD headquarters to go see Styles. We'll get back to you. We'll keep you apprised of what's going on. This is becoming quite challenging. Maybe I need some sleep.
I have an idea on this one, Novak, actually, if you'll let me take the lead.
You have the lead. So we'll go down.
So
I don't know
first
if
of all,
John's controlling the camera right now. Where are we?
yeah. First of all, so you two enter, and you make your way down into holding where somewhere, and then he's you have him be set up in an interrogation room. As they're getting all that set up, you are handed a file. They're like, oh, turns out he had a record. And so you get handed a file for Styles that's from the LAPD system. So let me pull that up, and then you can read that.
All right, Bob. Sorry. Now you got me. NX-8 396.2 Styles. Nexus 8. Incept date 17th of July 2022. Function hard labor and combat. Physical state Lev A. Mental state Lev C. Known address unknown. They have any records as to why he's been brought in?
Apparently he is a known member of the Replicant Underground.
Understood.
And he's into combat and hard labor, so he's strong.
Novak, if you don't mind, I'm assuming we have like a two-way mirror outside of the. If you don't mind, standing back.
Oh, you want me to stay out here? Sure, I'll observe.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
We could do
go
good
in.
cop, bad cop later.
I'll go in.
You see him sitting there, and he kind of looks up at you with this cold sort of glare, and then looks back towards the wall, like he doesn't really, like he's not giving much reaction.
You're welcome.
For what?
My partner, his job is to hunt Nexus 8s. And I stopped him from retiring you. So maybe if you could cooperate for a little while, we can both get something out of this. I know you know Leia. She was like a sister to me. I'm trying to find her. Can you tell me anything about where she might be?
Can I? Yes. Will I? No.
What do you want out of this? Listen, if you can't cooperate, I turn you over to my partner, you get retired. You cooperate, I can get you out of here.
Well,
okay.
Do you want to just cut to the chase then and make this quick?
What do you mean?
Get your partner in here and have him retire me already.
You don't want to get out of here?
Not if it means giving Leia up.
Fuck that. I'm trying to find her. Look, we turn you loose, you go on, you live, a happy life. We wipe from the records that you were even here. I'm just trying to find the person that I consider like a sister to me. I'm concerned about her.
How do I know that as soon as I tell you what you want to hear, you won't just walk out of there and close the door on me?
What kind of assurances do you want then?
Take me out in a spinner.
Take you out in the spinner.
Yeah. I'll tell you what you want to hear, and then you drop me off.
All right. We got to make it look good, though. I got to take you out, cuffs, all that.
Okay. Cuffs off before we go in the car, though.
Away from the cameras.
Yes, I don't. You're not dropping me off on the side of the street with cuffs on, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Fine. I'm assuming Novak is like listening in to all of this. I'm hoping that he's formulating it.
What does Novak think of this?
I'm listening in. I know what she's doing. I forgot to ask him how well the Nexus can lie, but I think I picked up on exactly what she's going to do. So as soon as she starts mentioning these details, I probably will set it up with the LAPD that we have a way of tracking them, and in fact filming, i.e. keeping track of what they're saying, Even though he'll think that there's no camera
Oh
watching.
yeah, this whole conversation is being recorded very obviously. We get into Spinner. I'm assuming that is all being recorded as well.
Right.
You can have the inside of a spinner recorded. Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. No, my idea. I guess I think I probably would have relayed at least some of this to Novak, is that I'm trying to give him all of the assurances that'll get him to cooperate, and then I'm just handing him over to whoever is relevant to be handed over to. So, I drop him off somewhere, someone can come pick him up, grab him.
Yeah, I assume we can. Yeah, we can anticipate that. Okay. I assume that's what you were doing.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
There's part of me that internally that's nagging me just a little bit, like, what if Styles knows how to brainwash, and that quiet moment that they're alone together in the spinner, if she doesn't become somehow compromised, I don't know. It makes me very nervous, but I'm supposed to. I guess I have to trust Finna. God, I hope I can trust Finna. I hope this doesn't go down in my programming as the dumbest thing that I've ever done.
Okay.
You have programming?
I'm speaking in their terms.
Wait, hold on. There's a rule for that. I just didn't think we were using those. Hold on a minute.
So I'm gonna, so that we don't attempt to metagame all of this out anyway, I'm gonna tell Styles I need a moment to arrange for a spinner that is unrecorded and will not be followed. I have to make my excuses to my boss. Give me a minute. All right. And then I'm gonna meet up with Novak outside, and we're gonna have a talk about so that we're not pretending this is all mind games. So you heard what I promised Styles here. We need to make arrangements. Either you're tracking or you're following in an unmarked car, and we turn around and we pick him up.
Where are you going to take him? He's going to want, no matter where you want to take him, he's going to want to go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, he's not going to lead me to where he's staying. I'll take him wherever he wants to go. I'll take the long way about it, so that we have time to have a conversation.
I am going to be in the second spinner, tracking your location.
Unmarked car.
Unmarked.
Something Backer would be driving. Something piece of crap.
Yeah, and I will be, directly below you, so that when you go to park, I will already be there.
Okay.
And we will be listening. We'll be recording. Give me a code word so that if something's going wrong,
right,
something that sounds normal.
Be prepared for a fight. Yeah, what should the code word be?
How about my blinker? Maybe cars don't have blinkers anymore. Say something's wrong with my blinker.
I could really use a cigarette right now.
Okay. That sounds good.
That's our code word for if something is going wrong, that I need your backup, or that we're coming in close.
And if I get in trouble, I'll give you this signal.
No, Vac. What is this signal for?
If
clarify.
You suddenly realize that you're in trouble.
Okay.
Then I'll come sweeping in. Don't give him a weapon, obviously.
Right. Okay. I'll make all the appropriate arrangements for a spinner that is very obvious. Not obviously, but that is recording. That has recording capabilities. I'll go back and pick up Styles. Make sure the hallway's cleared away.
We'll tell you which one it is. I will go out there preemptively into the other spinner. Right. And, cool.
Okay, yeah, I'll go pick up Styles.
All right, so you're gonna take Styles up in a spinner?
Yep. Okay.
So is Novak? I assume Novak's gonna stay, or
no?
He's gonna follow in an unmarked car.
Okay. Okay.
I'm down below her so that when she goes down to land, I will already be
Right.
parked right there.
Okay. So, you get him cuffed up, you take him out, you bring him into a spinner, you take off. Novak in the unmarked spinner takes off behind you. And as soon as you get up into the air, he says, all right, fly to the Kipple. So, for those of you who don't know, the Kipple is the area outside the city, is like the outskirts. That is the wastelands where all the heaps of junk in the, like, in the movies, where the trash people live out. It's kind of no man's land. Who knows what goes out there. It's largely out of the jurisdiction of a lot of things. Anyone that goes out there is sort of on their own. And he's like, just take us to the edge of the Kipple.
Very well.
And then I'll tell you what's what.
Is the Kipple known for what is the name of the droid? Not droid, sorry, replicant activist underground.
The replicant underground. Yeah, I mean, yeah. They do work out there. But I mean, it's largely unknown where a lot of them are. But somewhere between here and Vegas, they have strongholds and stuff out in the middle of nowhere because that's where they all fleed out to. So.
Do a lot of business out in the Kipple then, Mr. Styles.
Not personally, but I mean, if you want information, then we need to be somewhere that I know that if I walk away, I'm not immediately going to get tackled by 5 of your guys.
Fair. All right. Well, what do you know about Leia?
Let's get to the Kipple first.
Okay. Is there a way for Novak to tail us? It's going to be harder once we get there, right?
It is.
So I'm trying to figure out.
I am staying low, so I'm 100, 200 feet below where they are, and I'm in amongst the buildings, and I'm just keeping an eye where they are. So,
why don't you go ahead and give me an agility and stealth? Novak.
Agility and stealth.
Or, yeah, because, well, yeah.
Would it be driving and stealth?
I'm gonna give it to him on agility because they didn't give a single pre-gen driving.
Oh, I just assume everyone is better at
they're just like, skills. Everyone's a D. Everyone sucks at driving in this group. And I'm like, why did you give? Why
we
is
have autopilot?
Yeah, it's like, what? Nobody's good at driving.
I have D10 for both of those. I got a 6 and an 8.
Okay, well those are successes. So, yeah, so you're able to kind of take it down very low. So, after some minutes of flying and driving / flying, you make it over, and you kind of get to the edge of the city, really the outskirts. And you're kind of like skirting the edge, and Novak is kind of a little bit behind, kind of trying to keep very low, for the moment, unspotted from like the car with you and Styles in it. He's like, all right, find us a place to park.
What? Is there places to park around
just
here?
set us down somewhere you think we're not going to get immediately ambushed.
Okay. I'm driving. I'll set us down where I like. Is there any kind of structure around here, or is it just desert?
There's ruins. There's piles of scrap. There's dust mounds.
Places where Novak could probably, kind of come in unnoticed. Something near that.
Sure, maybe kind of like behind like a pile of like dirt and soot and sand, and where there's like some ruins nearby that he could land behind.
Right.
All right. Unlock the door, and we'll leave them closed.
I will gently lay my gun across my lap and then do so.
Okay. He says, all right. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to walk out that door, and I'm going to walk away.
As you say.
And that's going to be it.
Well, Mr. Styles, I'm waiting for you to follow through on this promise.
No, I'm just saying that's how this is gonna go, right? I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
what you need to know, and then I'm gonna open the door
You're going to walk
and
out.
I'm gonna walk away, and you're not gonna stop me.
No, I'm not going to stop you.
All right. Where to start? What do you think you know about Leia? Let's start with that.
I know that Leia had had some difficulties recently, that she'd failed several of her evals, that she had been put up for, what's that word, reconditioning.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that she seemed like a lost. She was trying to find her place. She felt maybe she was made for something more than what she is. Seems like her and her partner were at odds with that ideology.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why?
I'm assuming her partner was more about the job, falling in line with what he was programmed to do.
No, I mean, do you know why Leia was like that?
Guess I never really thought about it. I thought maybe she had spoken to someone who had changed her mind.
He gives you sort of a defiant look that says, Leia was tormented. Do you know what they did to her? Do you even?
No.
I mean, you know what's so fucked up? They could have done it to you too, and you probably don't even know yet. You probably don't even know.
Enlighten me, Mr. Styles. What did they do to Leia? And who? Who is they?
Who do you think?
Wallace?
Wallace, yeah. Who fucking made her? They got this new thing where to try to keep, y'all, the new branch, the new line in line, they implant memories.
Yes, we know that.
Tragic, traumatic, fucked up memories. She was horribly scarred by what they put in her head.
To what purpose? To make her a hardened person?
I don't fucking know. Ask Wallace. All I know is that Leia Leia is a good, caring, beautiful person, and they went and filled her mind with fucked up shit that will torment her for the rest of her life.
Where does Sandor factor into this equation?
Sandor didn't understand. He couldn't see things the way that we saw them. Perhaps I hope you don't go the same way, but we weren't able to remove the wool from his eyes and let him see what is there. And so when the brawl happened, I fucked up. And Sandor saw me. And he identified me based on my previous, I'm sure they have me in the system or whatever. I don't look as I once did, but he recognized me with those fucking keen eyes of his. And Leia
did what she had to do.
She didn't want Sandor to get me.
She did what she felt like she had to do.
Yeah.
Where is she?
On her way out of here.
Through here? Through the Kipple?
It's not that simple. You can't just walk off into the sunset unless you're, looking to retire yourself.
Right. Is that where your network of people comes in?
I was going to help her escape off-world because that's what she needs to get off this fucking disgusting piece of shit rock.
So just for clarification, out of context for just a minute, can Novak hear all of this? Like, that was kind of my intention, but I
yes, sure if you have your vid phone on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you want him to hear it, he can hear it. Yeah.
That's fine.
We have the technology. So
do you have this broadcast?
We can rebuild him.
Group chat. So like that way, Percy and I are just sitting in her empty apartment going, "Oh shit!"
If I could have wired it so all three of them.
Sure. We can. Perhaps y'all are heading back. Like you're in a spinner driving back, and you're like, "Oh shit, this is getting real."
We found her one carton of Jiffy Pop in the apartment, and are just like, "Damn."
Yeah. We're sitting on the couch, right?
Did I mention? I guess. Yeah, before y'all leave, you did check the kitchen, and yeah, she had like one bag of chips and a bunch of empty bottles of vodka. That's just something to note that when you went to grab a snack, that's all you found, like one bag of chips and just a bunch of empty vodka, like very little actual food. But yeah, so you're chewing on some old potato chips as you fly back and listening in.
Nice.
Where is she right now, Styles?
I'm not actually sure. Hopefully on her way to getting off of here. Like I said, I intend to help her get off world, however I can. Me and my friends can do that for her. I mean, shit. I already know how this is going to end, but I'd be a terrible advocate for my movement if I didn't offer it to you. If you want to get out of here, you could. You and any other N9 friends of yours that don't like the way this is going, that don't like someone telling you who you are and what you've been built for and what your purpose is and what your entire life story is and how you should live and how you should die. You can get off world and we can help you.
You know, Rada, you're looking at me like you don't know.
Describe them?
I will describe. This is the person that's my key relationship. Udaya.
Do you know her?
Do you know where she is?
I don't actually. She went with the last shuttle. She helped them get out.
Don't your people usually come back?
From space? To this shithole rock?
Fair.
Well, we'd rather take the stars with all the other Richie Riches and people that can pass the damn test and get out of here.
Fine. Get out of my car, Styles.
Before he gets out of the car, I'm going to come walking up. So he's in the back seat, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he fought me on it. I put him in the back seat.
I'm going to come up behind the car, up to the back seat, up to the door where Styles is. And I'm going to reach down and open up the door. And look in at him and say, I'm not on Wallace's side. I've suspected that Wallace has been doing some horrible things.
Suspected?
Well, we don't always know. We human beings have no idea what's really going on in that corporation, and it scares us. My job is to retire you, but I'm not going to. I think
the great William Novak.
I think
boogeyman to the N8s around the globe is really gonna hang in his gun?
I think I want to find out more about what's going on. I think that people need to know there's something really seriously fucked up. Because from what you're saying, you're describing a kind of torture. We're supposed to accept you Nexuses as if you were equals.
As human as Neandor likes to say.
Right. But the fact is, that's always bothered me that they implant you with memories. And I'd never really conceived that they could implant you with horrible memories.
Yeah, I mean, it's from what I understand, with the new N9s, it's even worse. I mean, implanting a replicant with a human's memories is an old school tactic that Tyrell tried. Didn't always work. So
right, and they were always kind of inane sort of things. But
right,
I myself, in my life, have gone through some horrible trauma, and I wouldn't impose that on anyone.
Right, and so apparently Neandor thinks that his new N9 group, some of them, they didn't just give them someone else's memories, they created memories. Disgusting, traumatic ones, as we've said.
And I'm wondering if there's a way that they can trigger them to punish you if they want to, or not you, but Finn and you.
The only, I mean, I'm no expert, but and for a penny and for a pound, our experts say that they do this because they think that the traumatic memories will trigger responses when the replicants try to exhibit deviant behavior, so that they will be prone to not do that. Unfortunately, you put fucked up memories in someone's head, and that might be the core cause of their stressful breakdown, not the thing that's keeping them from one.
Yeah, we're talking Clockwork Orange now. Shit. Styles, get out of here. Go.
You don't have to tell me twice. And he, leans out the other door that he's had his hand on and steps out. He walks slowly at first, but then, not running or anything, but going a little bit, more, less slow. And then he disappears behind the mound of dirt. You don't see it, of dirt and sand, and you don't see him anymore.
We got to get the team together and talk about this.
We need to wipe the wreckers off this fucking car.
Yeah, that's fairly easy to do.
Purse, Olsen, you guys were listening, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you want to meet?
Can we meet in the fucking morning?
Yeah.
It's gotta be like the middle of the night at this point. Yeah. That's fair.
100% is.
Mm-hmm. Let's all meet at where would be a safe spot?
Noodle bar?
It's a lot of people at the noodle bar.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of people everywhere.
How about the old? Okay, yeah. Do you have an apartment? You want
her apartment?
Her apartment? That building's pretty nasty.
I might advise against that. I may have drawn attention to our
stand the door back up. It's okay.
I mean, I have an apartment. We all have apartments, right? One of
yeah, let's not do mine. Hayden's already blowing up my texts. I'm in deep shit in more ways than one.
Just come to my apartment.
Okay.
Say 8 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
Can we make it 10?
Yeah, I'll make it 10.
Thank God.
So, John, I realized I might have missed a cue. Was that, I didn't recognize that photo at Leia's place, right?
Did any of us recognize that photo?
Well, just my key memory is of Leia. I just assumed it was two different Leias.
Did you assume that? So, here's the thing. That image is not of Kid Leia. However,
Okay.
She looks very, like, almost like Kid Leia did. Like, with Kid Leia's eyes, Kid Leia's hair, just like
actual
some different
Leia,
features.
like grown-up Leia looks like the grown-up child, is what you're saying.
The child looks similar to Leia does.
I.e., her child, that's the memory they've implanted to torture her with.
The bedside photo, that kid looks similar to how Leia did when she was a kid, but not exactly the same.
Except that Leia was never a kid.
Exactly. Well, never
so
truly
it's all mindfuck memory shit. That means that Finna and Percival, you should both be aware that the memories that you have.
Well, that's very relevant right now.
Okay, go ahead, Novak. That's never been hidden.
Go ahead and do you want to talk about this in character, Percival? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Before we hang up for the night, I should say that the memory that they gave me that I know is fake, but it feels more real than anything. I remember it more vividly than all of my training for the job. Is that I was in a housing project and I had a best friend named Leia, and there was a horrible accident where I was able to escape, but I couldn't save her. And that's what Wallace chose to put in my head. That's what haunts me, is that I had a friend named Leia that I wasn't able to rescue.
And there was no Leia, there was no friend. That should give you some sort of psychological ammunition against being manipulated by that.
It makes me want to save people, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a strange thing. It hurts to think about.
I'm in a position now where, as I recall from the historical record, one of the first Nexus 8s, I believe, was not informed that she was, in fact, a replicant. She thought that she was human. And that's a sick and twisted thing to do to somebody. We're getting really tired. I'm very having a hard time trying to concentrate, but this whole thing is so fucked up.
This is dangerous talk. We all have to know that, right? This is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get offered a ride off of the planet very frequently. It's pretty strange, yeah.
It's a serious existential problem. I mean, you tell me that you
Novak,
can't tell that your memories aren't actually your memories.
Novak, I'm talking about the fact that we are in a part of a recorded conversation in which we are discussing ideas against the Wallace Corporation. If no one else, myself and Percival, are putting ourselves in danger by even having this conversation with you right now, at any moment they could call us in and recondition us both.
Can they hear what you're thinking?
I don't know. But this is being recorded right now. I don't know.
Roll sanity. Oh.
I just want to... Would everyone say that you all just learned something distressing about the world or about yourself?
Yeah.
Everyone take a point of stress!
Woo!
Nice. All right, so I am down to 1 resolve.
Which is... It's good. It's good that you're taking a break, because that is how you recover.
What is... When I'm sure Percival and I have at least heard the rumors. When you're reconditioned, is it like a mind wipe? Is it like therapy?
It's sort of it's basically it's like a mix of like a psyche valve meets a disc defragging.
That doesn't okay. But you don't, at least from what we understand, it's
you don't
not
forget
like
everything
they
from before
wipe
then.
your memories.
No.
They modify.
They do. They go around. They poke around. They talk to you a bunch under the weird lights. They poke things around, and then they send you back out.
It's fucking terrible.
Recalibrate. That's what it is. I keep
recalibration. Yes.
I don't.
Because I'll tell you something, Percival and Fenna, is that human beings are pretty flawed, and our whole lives we wonder what existence is for us. And you say that you have memories that were implanted and they feel as real as they could possibly feel. Well, I have memories and they feel as real as they could possibly feel. And I have absolutely no assurance that my reality is real at all. I'm sure I'm a human, but could I have been reprogrammed or changed or mentally conditioned? I don't know. Let's all go get some sleep. Good God.
Yeah, let's wipe. I don't know what we need to do to wipe the records on this vehicle, but they need to be wiped. I don't even know. Novak, we need to figure out how to clean up
Percival would know.
disappearance.
Who wants to give me a tech roll to wipe the spinner's files?
Percy.
We're gonna have to bring it to him, I'm sure.
Yes,
But
you
look, we
land,
need to wipe
and the
the
first thing
record
you do.
Of style.
Well, we need to wipe backers too.
So yeah, go ahead and give me a tech roll, Percy, to wipe the recording and the dash cam footage.
Oh, 2-4. I'll re-roll that.
Okay. Yep. First push.
7 and 1. So
okay. Well, oof. Okay. So wait.
that puts me at 0.
Oh yes. All right. So first, Percy's struggling. He's like, shit. I think that there's a system where after a certain period of time, the dash footage gets uploaded to the mainframe, and I've got to stop it. And then he steps in, and it's you can almost see the wires crossing and the sparks flying in his brain. And you're able to get it, but you have a breakdown, and you suffer a critical stress effect. So I would like you to roll a d6 for me, please. And tell me what you get.
A 2.
Oh, wow. So, the critical stress effect on 2 for replicants is time to die, which sounds worse than it actually is. You lose the will to live.
I just stop.
You lose, time to die. In the last thing Roy Batty says. You lose the will to live and simply collapse on the ground. You just can't force yourself to do anything at all, even to the point of putting your own life in jeopardy due to your inaction. So you wipe everything and then fall to the floor on the helipad of the LAPD tower in your best Roy Batty impression at the end of the first movie.
So, yeah, I was really imagining that this was happening in Bakker's cruiser as we're driving back to LAPD, and so he's starting to have this shit moment, and so I pull off to the side and he gets it, and then it's just
yeah,
and I'll take him back to the apartment, basically just bridal carry and set him back down on the couch.
Wait, whose apartment?
Miss Backer,
My apartment.
Feel so good.
Wait, do you imagine that you live with Hayden or no?
No, I 100% believe Hayden is going to be there waiting for me, going, what the fuck is this? And
yeah, so Hayden is very upset, which might play into your downtime. He's like, what's going on? Where have you been? Who is this? What the fuck?
Listen, it's been a long fucking night.
Wait, were you in a fight? Were you in a brawl?
Yeah.
You told me you would stop getting into street fights, babe.
Yeah, I didn't start this shit this time. Jesus fuck, they were coming after this guy. I don't know what happened. He broke down. Just listen, I'm sorry, but can you give me a minute?
We gotta talk later.
Okay, can we talk tomorrow? I swear to God.
Yeah, later! Alright,
Thank you.
And, okay, so, with Percival in definite need of some recovery, I presume that you're all going to take your prospective downtimes.
I'm going to do the shitty partner routine of rolling and then curling up on the side of the bed.
Okay, so it looks like...
Gotta hold Percival all night.
Would you like to try to give Percival a helping hand, Backer?
How? Unless I'm punching him, I'm not very good at it.
Well, you can try it. I mean, so you can try
Snap out of it.
Yes, basically, another PC or an NPC talking to you, even if via your KIA, can help you come to your senses by making a manipulation roll. This counts as an action in combat. If it's successful, you recover immediately, regaining resolve equal to the number of successes in the skill roll. Helping someone who isn't broken has no effect. Otherwise, you recover on your own by getting a single resolve after a shift has passed. So you want a downtime though. So Backer, see if you can calm Percy down on your couch, maybe with a glass of whiskey and a worried Hayden.
Hayden is going over my shoulder. I'm like, Percy, I swear to God.
What'd you get? It's okay, I believe you. What'd you
I
get?
am not lying. I am not lying one bit. I just rolled a 6. I have
Hey!
a D6 on manipulation.
Wait, what was the other dice?
What? I only rolled 1 D6.
Oh, roll another one, because you have empathy. You have your empathy.
My empathy is also dog shit, but okay,
Roll
cool.
it, yeah, if you get it,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do that too.
Yeah, it might be more resolve for Percy.
Percy, I care about you. I rolled an 8.
Nice.
I really care.
All right,
I
so
rolled max on
so after some calm down, maybe some little bit of liquor, maybe something, maybe a little snack.
It's the force feeding
couch.
the Johnny Walker Black.
Yeah, of course it's Johnny Rocker Black because a fucking Blade Runner can't afford anything better.
Goddamn right.
That's the original joke from the movie. But yeah, so he's not affording blue anyway. So yeah, you actually are able to help Percy out, and after you calm down a little bit, on Backer's couch, you regain 2 points of your resolve.
Nice, 50%.
There you go.
And so I have a little origami bird that I keep in my pocket. And I pull it out and start diddling with it, and I'm just like, yeah, thanks, Becker. I kept it to myself because I thought it was just irrelevant. But yeah, her name being Leia, I've been hovering over that fake memory this whole time. And then, when Styles said he could get me off the planet, I wanted to go for it. I love my job. I've never questioned it, but as soon as he said I could take you, I considered it. It's the strangest thing.
I stagger across the room and plop back down on the bed with a bottle of Johnny Walker. I'm like, Percy, I get it. I hear you. Can this wait until tomorrow morning?
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yes.
that. Good prop. Yeah, love that. So, also, real quick, we have to roll. So now I wish I could give you the dice because I love the Blade Runner dice that have the origamis as the ones. Roll me a dice equal to your empathy rating and tell me if you get a 1.
Let's see.
Empathy.
Just Percy. This is just because he had a critical stress effect.
8.
All right, you do not permanently lose a single point of resolve from the incident.
Oh, good.
All right. With that, and then with that little bit of bookkeeping, we can finish off with some downtimes. So,
I specifically need to do something before I take a downtime.
Oh, okay. What's up, Fenna?
I would like to alter the report and have it say that Novak killed Styles and we disposed of his body.
Okay, so you're just gonna file. That's the report you're gonna file.
Right.
He was
That
retired.
we drove him out to the desert, got the information we needed out of him, and we killed him and buried him out in the kibble.
Okay. Can you give me? That is easy enough. That is what your report will say.
Okay.
How good at you are burying the evidence or lack thereof to support this story, given that you just erased the dash cam of that apparent trip. So I think this would be do a intelligence tech or a empathy connections. So bury it
Right.
either digitally or
okay.
as far as how you know how paperwork moves, bureaucratically.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Whichever's better for you. Let me know what you pick also.
Oh, sorry. I rolled empathy connections and I rolled a
Okay.
12 on the D12.
Hey, that's 2 successes. All right, so you got 2 successes to kind of bury the report and bury, the fact that there's no dash cam of this supposed, incident. And if anybody asks, you have the right connections in place that people.
I'll add in so there are no questions. I'll add into the report that he was a very well-trained replicant and he knew we were being recorded and he demanded that I turn everything off because he wouldn't tell me anything otherwise.
There you go. And you have the connections to back that, you're a reliable interrogator. Right. You are a respectable member of the force. I'm
assuming Novak will be like, yep, we killed that guy.
There's no need to double check your work or anything like that. It's all above board.
All right.
So with those 2 successes, you're good. All right.
We probably discussed exactly what you were going to do.
Yeah, I assume that you take that. So everyone gets a downtime event. Simply put, well, first of all, so we'll go over this real quick. So downtime is how you recover in this game. You can spend an entire shift getting medical aid, which sometimes you have to, but in an investigation that's hot like this, that's losing valuable time. You can also gain back a point of stress, gain back a point of resolve, lose a point of stress, and you can also gain back 1 of your health just from the R&R of relaxing and getting your downtime. So as long as your downtime isn't interrupted, you can get back both of those. So whichever one you've lost, if you've lost both, you can get back both. And like I said, you could pursue medical aid if you need further assistance there. Also, everyone has a signature item that's noted on your sheet. Once per game, once per investigation, you can use it you can fiddle with it or explain how you use your signature item to help you, and you immediately will regain back 1 point of, you will lose a point of stress and gain back a point of resolve. So that can be a part of your downtime so that you gain back 2, or that can be in the middle of another scene. Just as long as you have a cool way of explaining how your signature item helps you, you will get back some of that from that as well. So we'll just go through real quick here, give everybody a scene, and then wrap things up, and then we'll call it for tonight. So I guess we'll just go down. So Novak, how would you like to spend your downtime?
What does Hardened do?
If you pull up the specialties, I think that gives you. I think Hardened just gives you extra health. I think
It gives you extra resolve.
Oh, that's what it is. Yes, because you are you have years of doing this. You're a veteran of the Force.
Here is kind of an interesting backfire. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rest. Okay, I'm going to sleep and rest.
Yeah. Yes. But Hardened increases your maximum resolve by 1, and it can be taken up to 3 times.
Okay.
As an advancement.
Here's the odd thing. My signature item is my old wedding ring. And now I'm doubting my own memories because of the whole situation. So this would actually cause me more stress to sit and fiddle with my wedding ring and think about that. So I think I'm just going to rest.
Okay.
I'm going to try to turn off my mind, not think about it.
Do you think you have a new signature item, or have you just lost touch with this one? Because you can replace it.
I don't know that it's not true. So okay. I don't know. I'll just.
It's an unsafe thing right now. It's not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So are you just gonna head home?
I'm gonna head home. I'll probably have a nightcap and I'll go to sleep.
All right. Yeah. Nice stiff drink. And
take a hot shower.
A hot shower, some sleep in your own bed. Let's see if anything happens. And just because I like doing this, I'm gonna have you roll the D8. 2. Oh. So, you're able to have a nice drink, get a hot shower, have some old leftovers or some old takeout or something that you have. Maybe leftover noodles from another night that you had the White Dragon noodle stand. And you were able to get some sleep. What do you think you dream about? Because it seems like it's an uneventful evening for Novak.
I dream about an episode of I Love Lucy that I used to like before the Las Vegas blackout.
Luckily enough, that you might be able to still find some of the episodes, because I'm sure some people have tapes.
They're on DVDs and yeah.
Yeah, but you probably can't watch every episode anymore. That's
it's just one of those weird things that comes into your mind, and I see Lucy, stomping on the grapes and turning herself purple.
You dream. Yeah, you dream of an episode. Yeah, maybe the one where Lucy stomps on the grapes and turns purple, and you remember this is one of the episodes that's lost. Like, nobody has any tapes or any non-digital copies of this left, and so it's like one of those lost episodes. Like we have lost episodes of Doctor Who in the real world. Like, it's like, after the blackout, there's just some old shows that there's no tapes or DVDs, so that you lost it. And you're like, oh, I remember that episode, and she was stomping on the grapes, and so you have this vivid dream about this episode that doesn't exist anymore and hasn't for like almost 20 years. And you wake up and it's early morning.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Fenna, what would you like to do for your downtime? You're gonna go home? You're gonna go somewhere?
I'm gonna go to my apartment, put on my comfiest pajamas, curl up with my Animoid cat, Mazarin, who is my significant item. Give her some scritches.
Mm-hmm.
Lay down to rest, but I stay awake for a little while,
Mhm.
and I'm thinking, and I'm turning and tossing a bit, and then I pull up my data pad,
Mhm.
and I start reading that poem before I finally
The
fall
tiger?
asleep. Yeah,
Ooh,
before I finally
okay.
fall asleep.
Go ahead and roll me a d8.
Um, 5.
All right. Yeah, and it's nice. You listen to some soothing music, maybe you watch part of an old film, or just enjoy some time with like some programs. You hang out with your animoid cat, and you actually heal an extra point of stress. It's very calming. So you can actually heal 3 stress if you've taken it, because you had one scene, you use your signature item, and you rolled the one where you can get an extra stress removed. So you can heal up 3 points of resolve. Up to that. And yeah, you have a nice time. You get some good rest, and that is good for you. Also, Novak, don't forget to heal 1 point of stress and 1 point of damage if you've taken it as well from yours. All right, Percival.
Yeah, well, I
You
don't
gonna
plan
go
on...
home or gonna go somewhere on the street?
Oh, no. No, I want to stay right here on this couch.
Okay, at Bagger's house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think, Percival has a little origami bird that I'm
Sure.
not too sure why it's significant, but it just is really peaceful for him. He likes
Mhm.
staring at it and like analyzing the little curves and stuff. So he's just kind
Yeah.
of spinning it and staring at it while just really thinking about the Leia from that memory. And I
Mhm.
mean, he's not doing too good right now, so just like really wondering if the fake memory is the person we're hunting down somehow, even though that's ridiculous.
Go ahead and roll me a d8.
I got an 8.
Okay. Um. So, you get a call on the phone,
Oh,
Percival.
very, very late at night, early morning.
Yeah.
Does it
Yes,
wake
in
me
the
up,
in the
or was
middle
I
in the
already?
middle of the night, and before you
Okay.
before you go to sleep, but it's still in the middle of the night. You get a call on your vid phone from an unknown
Yeah.
number.
Yes, hello.
It's just a voice call. There's no video attached to this one, and the voice says, "Hello, I understand we have a mutual friend, a balding mutual friend,
I might know who you're talking about.
very pale.
Yeah.
I have an offer to make. I've got information for you, but we want something in return."
What is it?
There is some high level tech that was taken. It's in evidence. You bring us the tech, and we've got info for you. Also,
Bring it where?
I'll shoot you an address to dead drop it. Also, we would not be we would not be upholding our ideals if we didn't offer that I can offer you a way off this rock if you want it.
I'll consider it. Who am I speaking to? Who do you represent?
Let's just say I'm a mysterious benefactor of the Replicants' Right movement and the underground, and I would like to help other replicants find their freedom off-world.
I see. Well, I appreciate the offer, if nothing else.
Do think of it.
I'll consider it.
You can contact me back at this number. You have 24 hours.
All right.
And then he hangs up. seemed like the voice of an older man, but specifically, trying not to be specifically like very poignant, trying to be monotone and harder to read.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put
And other
the
than
phone
that,
away. Yeah, pull the bird back out. Just weird fucking day, and I plan on keeping that to myself.
Yeah. Other than that, you're able to get some good rest, and you can heal.
Did that ramp the stress up again, or am I?
I don't know. What do you think? Does that change anything further, or is your worldview already been changed?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, because
I'll leave that up to you.
Okay.
I feel like Percy's in the what fucking ever stage.
You can,
right now.
So you can gain back one. You can gain back 1 health and 1 resolve. Another, if you think that the origami bird helped and that you didn't have your worldview furtherly shattered, but if you didn't, if you did find your worldview even more shattered, then the origami and the worldview would balance each other out, and you would just get 1 back.
Yeah, I'll only take 1 because
so take 1 and then
Styles' offer was tempting, but knowing that there's another one that I have to balance, he's going to be stressed about that. And I plan on keeping the phone call to myself.
You like that person, new Styles, so
yeah.
All right, and then last but not least, Backer. Do you want to do something at home or do something out on the street?
No, I'm imagining after I somehow manage to resuscitate Percy to be back awake again, I stagger back onto the end of the bed and start slugging the whiskey. I hear Hayden is talking at me, and I just hear words like, what the fuck, who even is this? Like, you can't even be there for me. What, who? And it's just a string of words. Yeah. I hear the door slam. Percy is still on the bed, just fiddling with a bird. And I polish off the rest of the bottle and collapse in bed. I dream that I'm back on Calantha in the middle of the war again, like every night. And there's an enemy soldier that's coming at an ally, and it's Percy. So I charge and I rush and I try and protect Percy, attack this guy, and beat him down to a pulp. And I turn to look at where Percy was, and I see where I actually was, hiding in the middle of a bunker, watching the rest of the replicants in the middle of the firefight. I see Percy and Fenna are still out in the middle of no man's land on the outside, getting gunned down, Percy taking a bullet for Fenna. Then I hear the ding of Percy's phone, sometime, too early, too late. It shakes me out of it.
Yeah,
and I fall back into a bleary sleep. 4.
That. So, in the morning, very early morning, before Percival's even up, you wake up to the smell of coffee. It seems that Hayden's already up and is making breakfast. And when you go to the kitchen, he says, "Listen, we got to talk."
I know.
Listen, I love you, but you can't keep bringing your work home with you. Quite literally, as from last night.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't intend to. I don't know what happened to him. You should have seen it. He just knocked out in the car. It was like he had a stroke or something. I didn't know what to do. I didn't mean to.
Sometimes, brain short circuits or something. But, listen, I appreciate that you're going through a lot and with this investigation and everything. But like I said, we need a place that is safe, that is our home, our safe space. So please, just keep it there and let us be here. Okay?
I hold my mug up.
And so you two have a conversation over breakfast about how to manage your relationship and
how to not be a shitty partner.
Yeah, how do you not be a shitty partner, and how to manage a stressful life, and how to be a partner to somebody in this kind of line of work. And so you are able to get your health back, your 1 point of health and your 1 point of resolve, and then Do you want to use your signature item at all, or no?
I don't know how the fuck I'm going to use the tombstone of my dead brother as a signature item.
Well, you could have gone out and seen him. You could have gone and talked to your brother.
No, I'm good. Like, what the fuck has he ever done for me? Like, damn.
Apparently, he's significant. That going to his grave and talking reduces your stress. It helps you.
I'm too wiped out after that. Nah, right. I'm pretty sure I still cracked a rib.
Well, yeah, I mean, you heal one, but only one for now.
I'm a fast healer.
Unless you try to get medical aid from someone or take a shift to go get, medical
maybe tomorrow
stuff done. All right. And now, last but not least, a little bit of bookkeeping. So, I don't think anybody earned anything promotion point wise. Or did anyone upload any clues to the LAPD database?
I think we just wiped.
I don't think we're going to get promoted on this case, champ.
Like whatever the losing professional points is, that's that.
Well, so you did cover up that you let him go. So I'm not going to take the point away from you that you got for apprehending him, because according to the report, he was retired. So you don't lose any promotion points. At least not as of tonight.
How about humanity points?
I was about to say we gained some humanity.
But humanity points. So each character can earn 1 point of humanity for each of these things that I mentioned if their character was specifically involved with it. So if you visited Leia's apartment and found her bedside photo, gain 1 humanity. For all of you that helped realize that Styles is the replicant but let him go, gain 1 humanity. Interacted with your key relationship, go ahead and add a point of humanity. And you all get 1 humanity for playing out a scene of downtime.
You said key relationship, right? Not key
yes.
item. Okay.
Oh, or if you used your key memory or interacted with it in some way.
Does that count for my dream?
Sure.
And I'm not trying to, grab for points. It's a genuine question. Would finding out what happened to my key relationship count? Because
yes,
I was trying to figure out where she had been. All right.
Definitely, I would say yes. That counts as interacting with your key relationship for sure.
Okay.
Well, and so yeah, that's jumping back a little bit. When you were talking about that, were you saying Mirren? Was that the name?
The cat's name is Mazarin. My key relationship is Rada. She, according to Styles, had smuggled some folks off planet.
Yeah, I thought maybe I'd missed another cue that we had the same key relationship. But
Mazarin is my item. My key relationship is a person who is.
And so John, I know, it was entirely Fenna and Novak who decided to set him free, but since Backer and I decided to cover it up with them, it was kind of a team effort.
I think that's fair.
Refuse to upload a piece of evidence to the LAPD mainframe in order to protect somebody. I will covering evidence up as the same as that. So you can also.
I gave myself a stroke covering it up.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely earned it there. So that should give you all a couple of humanity points. If you got up to 5, you can spend them. Otherwise, you can save them for if you play these characters again or. When they do they are making a sequel to this, and so if y'all don't all die or go crazy, and we want to when it comes out, I could run the sequel as well for whoever survives.
No, I'm gonna cash that shit in right now.
So be sure to make sure to note how many promotion humanity points you lost, even if you don't think you're gonna be able to spend them before this investigation's over, because you might play the character again. So
how do you cash in the humanity points? Because it sounds like Backer can.
Yeah, and so it is. We looked it up earlier. You can use 5 promotion points to get a new specialty, or you can also use promotion points just to get resources. Like you risk them with connection rolls, and then humanity points you can spend 5 to get to add to your skills. 5 to go from D to C, and then 10 and 15 to go higher and higher up thereafter. So humanity makes your skills better, but promotion earns you more specialties within the force.
Gotcha.
So those are your 2, advancement trackers. So yeah, and so we leave all of our intrepid Blade Runners, having spent a little bit of time, in doing their respective downtimes, getting some R&R at home, some rest, perhaps, looking into their key memories, their relationships, using their key items. And finally, at very late at night, they all get some rest, and we sort of close the curtain on tonight. And next time we will be rejoining them very early morning as they get right back to it, because the world won't wait for them to sleep.
Cool. Our players included Holly Buto, Kaylin McDowell, Lex Hurley, and myself, with John Dos Passos as the game runner. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of Blade Runner, the role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.